So I would hope if you dial the number for the county shelter, you will get something like a regular office that keeps office hours like Monday through Friday 9 to 5. And if you call up during regular office hours, you would be able to get through to someone who could provide some basic information about the shelter, like if there are beds available and where that shelter is located, and the process you will need to take in order to get a bed there. Yet instead, if you dial the number to the county shelter, you will get the voicemail of a Tyler McGrath who doesn't like to pick up the phone there and instead prefers for you to call him on his personal cell phone to make arrangements with the state-funded community welfare program. On the shelter's voicemail, he leaves his personal cell phone number. And if you call his cell phone number, again, he can choose not to answer your call. But if you leave a message, Tyler McGrath can return your call when he is ready to talk. So that may work okay if you are running a small business out of your home, or if you are dealing with people who are not homeless. However, people who are homeless do not usually own cell phones or house phones for that matter. So it may be a little difficult for you to call them back. So, in the real world, from my experience, homeless people usually do not own cell phones. For one reason, they cannot afford it, and for another, it is difficult to find places to charge the phone when the battery dies. And when I stayed at the homeless shelter, no one had a cell phone. In fact, most of the people there had almost nothing. So the idea that someone homeless and without a phone can be helped the Tyler McGrath way is pure insanity. Because what is the homeless person going to do when Tyler McGrath does not feel like answering the phone at the Cheshire County shelter, like on Monday, April 11th at 10:30 in the morning? And when he or she leaves a message and does not have a return phone number, how is Tyler McGrath going to call them back? Then at 211, housing emergency, if you call that number, the operator there has no idea where the shelters even are. But at 211, they also have Tyler McGrath's personal cell phone number listed as the daytime shelter number again, where the county shelter's business office is run at Tyler McGrath's convenience, when he will choose if and when he will call you back. And when he does choose to call you back, he could then use profanity on the phone. And if you ask some basic questions about the shelter, he will assume that you want to attack homeless people and then hang up on you. So that is how state and community business is run under corporate rule, where, like in the military, there is no civilian oversight that is subject to public opinion. And complete nut jobs like Tyler McGrath take over the entire county shelter and emergency housing network. So that is how state and community business is run under corporate rule, where Tyler McGrath becomes king and dictator, and any normal office is then replaced with his personal cell phone number. So quite possibly he could sit at home and use profanity on anyone who might call and then hang up on them without giving them any answers or help whatsoever. So that's how Eversource now runs the federal and state-funded Southwestern Community Service Shelter Program. On the SCS website, they have the Housing Stabilization Services page, where they list 15 programs that supposedly provide direct and immediate care to individuals or families experiencing homelessness or whose housing is at risk in Cheshire and Sullivan counties. So let's go over these programs that SCS and their masters at Eversource have worked so hard to develop. So the first program is the emergency shelter program that we just tried out and got a ranting lunatic who will use profanity on the phone and then hang up on you. Second is the housing stabilization counseling program, where they offer meetings with a coordinator to teach you how to budget your money, how to eat correctly, give you job readiness training, and telephone access, which means that they at SCS know that obviously many homeless people do not have telephones. Number 3 is the homeless outreach program, where the SCS says they reach out to the homeless, offering them friendship, food, and shelter in the area. And then it says, please call 211. And to remind everyone, if you call 211 to ask some basic questions about the shelter, from my experience, they will give you Tyler McGrath's personal cell phone number so he could use profanity and then hang up on you. Program number 4, Transitional Housing Program, states that it provides rental units to families that are homeless. Then the next program, number 5, is Permanent Housing Program that provides units for homeless individuals or families. Number 6, the Shelter Plus Care Program gives rental assistance vouchers to homeless people in the area afflicted with serious mental health issues or substance abuse issues, while linking them to public assistance programs. So program number 6 will link you to other programs and give you a gift certificate that says good for 1 month stay at the Coach House Motel. So if you ask me, there does not sound like there's too much of a difference between these programs so far. But the next program, number 7, is the Rapid Rehousing Program that again gives time rental vouchers to homeless people. So I wonder what happens when these time rental vouchers go up. I will believe that then they want you to haul all of your stuff out into the woods and get yourself settled in at the swamp behind the Army Reserve Center. Number 8 is the Second Chance for Success program that provides housing for former prison inmates. And SCS states that there is a significant need for housing for people released from prison. Because as of now, they are being released from prison and are ending up at the shelter like we saw with Brad. He had a condo, but they violated him, and then 90 days later, he was released into the shelter with his also homeless girlfriend, so these psychotics could have 2 more people who need transitional housing. Number 9 is the Housing Security Guarantee Program that gives no interest loans that people could use for rental security deposits. Number 10 is the Homeless Housing Access Revolving Loan Fund that also provides no interest loans for rental security deposits. It's amazing that these are actually 2 different programs and not the same exact one. But this is the way they could say they have 15 programs and not 1 or 2 that are failing miserably. Number 11 is the Prevention Intervention Program, where SCS will try to talk to your landlord to convince them to let you stay. And they will give you a one-time financial support. So you better get it right with this one-time deal from the SCS, or like on a game show, or else you'll be homeless. Program number 12 is the Tenancy 101 program, where they teach people how to look for, rent, and then maintain an apartment. Program number 13 is a life skills class that teaches people how to eat healthy and budget money. Number 14 is a foreclosure intervention counseling program that provides counseling to people who are homeowners yet are at risk of losing their homes. And number 15 is the Cadillac of all programs. The "you got it made if you could score this program." So let me read it to you. The SSVF program. The primary function of this program is housing stabilization for households in the western portion of New Hampshire, Cheshire, Sullivan, Grafton, and Coos counties, with intensive case management. Financial supports will also be provided to include rental assistance, utility assistance, moving costs, child care costs, transportation costs, and emergency housing costs. This is intended to be a short-term, 3-month intensive program to stabilize veterans in their homes or in new homes. So of course this program seems to have it all, where all the other programs are confusing and overlapping, with one-time deals and academic classes for homeless people so they can learn how to eat correctly and budget their money more wisely. But if you are a veteran, you could skip all that complicated stuff and just jump right on down to the supported services for veteran families, which has it all. All you have to do is prove that you've been brainwashed, used, and abused by the military, and now you need help. So that's great for the vets and all. And you all know how I hate to see homeless vets. But shouldn't this type of program be available to everyone and not just families of vets? Because after all, we are all Americans, right? And it would be unfair to only favor vets. But as everyone knows, there are a lot of homeless vets still. So at SCS, it is ultimately going to be up to Tyler McGrath, the king of Cheshire County, to decide which homeless vets will be given support and who will be cursed and hung up on.